All right, everyone, there's a really weird legal case going on right now, and it circulates around the DNC's leaked emails from the last election. Some Democratic operatives are suing the Trump administration, saying basically Trump broke the law. Trump, Roger Stone, some of these others broke the law in grabbing some of this WikiLeaks material. It was published on various platforms. Stone was involved with talking to WikiLeaks, and that should be illegal. What the Trump admin is saying, and I mean it's basically settled law, so this is kind of true, is it is not actually illegal to publish stolen information. Hacking somebody and taking the info is illegal. If that person who has broken the law, though, transfers a copy of that information to a third party that then publishes it, and the publisher did not themselves know about the hack, participate in the hack, they have no specific legal culpability in the hack itself or the phishing attempt or whatever. That in itself is not illegal. That's why Julian Assange has broken no specific U.S. law in dumping this vast trove of material. Can I say something, though? This is not a partisan issue. This is an issue about the right of free expression and the right of publishers to continue essentially existing. That is, the rights of whistleblowers to hold governments and other groups accountable. If you start going after people who simply publish stolen or leaked information, classified materials or something, it would be a big problem in holding especially corporations accountable, I would think. Because sometimes you get like the internal Google memo that we've got getting leaked out. Well, you're not allowed to even post it online or something. You have a huge problem with accountability for any power structure. They would be able to essentially legally seal themselves off, do whatever they want. There could never be accountability unless potentially corrupt government bureaucrats and investigative firms are the ones gaining the information, in which case it might be closed off from the public eye anyway. So you could have massive leaks of personal data. You could have embezzlement, fraud, and government corruption, assassinations, and intrigue of all forms, and you'd never know what was going on. There'd be no possibility of whistleblowers, because the whistleblowers themselves would be giving the info to people who themselves would have to publish it publicly. In order for it to have an effect, they would go to jail for doing so. The First Amendment does indeed, in my opinion at least, protect the rights of whistleblowers and people publishing that whistleblown material. This is all prefaced on the WikiLeaks debacle. And I'll remind the left of something, and the Democrats too. You were cheering WikiLeaks on over a decade ago when WikiLeaks was involved in the release of classified materials involved within the Republican Party, within the Bush administration, especially with regards to the Iraq War. You loved it. You said, what wonderful patriotic info gathering. This helps us keep government accountable. Whistleblowers are sacred. The moment that Obama took office, you started hating whistleblowers because you realized that it is possible for a Democratic administration to be subject to the same treatment. Then all of a sudden, you kind of like them again now, except with regards to the last election. Like if WikiLeaks tomorrow were to dump a bunch of info about Trump doing corrupt shit, or Jared Kushner doing corruption or something, you'd be cheering it on. You'd say, well, this is an exception. No, now it's free speech. It's a wonderful thing. You've got to stop with the partisanship. And the Republicans are just as responsible for this too. They do the same fucking thing. Whenever there's like Trump's fans. A lot of Trump's fans would immediately bite Assange in the ass right now if he were to dump stuff on the Trump admin showing that he'd been corrupted and something. Like, oh, here's Trump musing about nuking Iran or something, doing some crazy shit. They would say, oh, no, this is like deep state stuff. We don't believe it, or we no longer like Assange because he's targeting the wrong person. You shouldn't do that. If a person's got a long track record of being a fairly accurate whistleblower, the other people need to be protected and being able to take that info and actually disclose it. This is the same stupid thing like what CNN said with regards to the WikiLeaks dumps. I think it was on specifically the Podesta emails when they were dumped. Oh, no, you're not allowed to read them. Don't go to WikiLeaks. You just let us report on it. Blatantly untrue. It's not illegal to publish that information. Yeah, I could take WikiLeaks releases. Technically, some of that material is technically classified. It certainly was stolen. I can take it, I can analyze it, I can put it up on a blog, I can store it, I can archive it, I can fucking put it in a book if I want. Nobody can legally do jack shit to me because it's perfectly legal to do. And by the way, what about all the little people sharing the info around? If the DNC's lawsuit here were to be taken seriously, let's say that a court were to find that they're correct, that it is illegal to publish that information. Anybody who tweeted out about published on a blog, on a personal website, archived or otherwise stored and sent out, shared in any way, even snippets of that material would be legally culpable. The same way as someone who would actually hack the DNC servers that, let's face it, it was probably a leak, not a hack. Let's assume that it was, though, and that the law was actually broken. Does it matter? Should a person be penalized? Like they're 10 steps away from the actual source. So you get the hack happens. You got the emails and stuff. And then let's say that WikiLeaks gains it, WikiLeaks puts it out, another person takes it, puts it on their website to analyze, another person tweets it out, and it keeps getting shared around through different steps of people. You're telling me that every single one of those people anywhere in the chain, right, by having published that information, should be potentially subject to criminal liability? Well, it'd be great. The Democratic Party could basically sue everyone that ever criticized them. Thankfully, it's pretty much a settled case already. The Trump administration, they have precedent on their side. As far as I know, there's been no significant actual legal challenge. This is the DNC whining. They're attempting to drag the same bullshit out that they've already been invested in for the last couple of years. Their big thing was Russia hacked us. Trump worked with Russia. Oh my God. We need to go after WikiLeaks. Basically, they're trying to attack these problematic groups because, you know, the Democrats are shifty and involved with corrupt activity before they can strike preemptively before 2020. So yeah, they want to go after Veritas. They want to go after WikiLeaks. They see they're trying to drum it up as though it's something partisan. And these aren't partisan groups. WikiLeaks is an equal opportunity whistleblower that releases info on multiple states on a regular basis across all sorts of broad political spectrums. It's released info on Putin's regime. They've released info on the Republicans many times. They have released stuff, troves of documents. Every time Trump appoints someone, they have a trove pretty much ready to go. They just collate it out and then put it up there as a link on Twitter. It's just that you hear less, if you're on the left, you hear less about it. Because the left-wing media doesn't want to tell their fans, oh yeah, by the way, WikiLeaks is still tweeting out little tidbits. They're not as significant, maybe. It's not in the middle of a mainline election. But it's on people that are part of the Trump administration. Well, that shatters the one-dimensional illusion of Julian Assange as like some Russian-backed far-right pawn. By the way, what benefit would it be to him to be like in such a situation? They're trying to proclaim like that he's taken money from Russia. Well, he's still under house arrest. He can't even get on the internet. The poor dude is living like a literal exile, like he's on a desert island. He's got the beard of Castaway too at this point. He's apparently in failing health. Some people don't even think he's still alive. I happen to disagree with them. But it's ridiculous. It's totally ridiculous for him to be mistreated in this way. We need more whistleblowers, not less. And for the Democrats to be attacking the fundamental concept of the ability of people to publish information that's pertinent, that the public needs to know. It's from a government entity, it's from a political group or something. The Democrats here, by the way, accidentally admitting they are a for-profit corporate entity. The political party is a for-profit corporation. There's no special constitutional mandate granted to groups of people involved in politics to be an entity separate from the normal commercial processes of the United States. You do realize this, right? The DNC, the RNC, they're just corporate entities. They're trying to make money. They solicit donations for a reason. They have to operate at a surplus or at least, break even in order to keep functioning. That's the whole point. That's about all. Peace out.